Hello friends and welcome to Tutorials Point. Well, there are many situations in our day-to-day life wherein we are stuck in that dilemma as to whether we should say a yes or we should say a no, or if we want to say a no, if we say a no, we really wish to say a no, but I doubt if I say a no this would happen, some consequences would follow, or people would judge me, or so on and so forth. Such a long chain of thoughts starts to run in our mind, cross our mind, because we are so perplexed, so confused, so doubtful that we end up probably saying a yes to certain things which we do not even want to, or for that matter it could be a vis-a-vis situation as well, right? We want to say a yes but we end up saying no because there is so much that goes in our mind, and we are not able to actually do what we want to, right? So how do we actually deal with such situations so that it's kind of a win-win situation? We are not even kind of losing, and at the same time we are not even letting the person in front of us lose, and at the same time we are also not losing. So how do we convert such a tough situation into a win-win situation, or for that matter how do we break such a deadlock, right? So in this video we are going to discuss, or maybe we'll probably delve deep inside ourselves, brainstorm and think as to what is it that actually happens during such situations which actually forces us to do certain thing that we do not want to, or something that forces us to be someone who we are not, right? So in this video we are going to discover many such points, so get ready to go to actually enjoy this entire journey of going deep inside and doing a lot of introspection, doing a lot of brainstorming, and let's go ahead and see as to what is it that actually happens. Okay, so these are certain checkpoints which can actually help us to probably understand, or maybe give it a thought, okay, is this what actually happens, right? Or is this how we can negotiate such a situation? So how do we actually negotiate such a situation diplomatically so that it's kind of a win-win situation, right? So first of all, let's have a look. Okay, first understand that what is it that is stopping you from saying a no, right? Okay, for example, we probably are approached, or we are in a situation wherein we want to say a no to a particular thing, right? Or to a particular person. But what is it that is actually stopping us? Let's think about it. Is it fear of losing out? Or is it fear of being judged? Or is it, probably a fear that maybe there's my image would just go for a toss? Or is it like I might just probably lose this friendship which is there, or that connect which has been there built? What is it that is actually stopping you? So you need to first delve deep inside and ask yourself that what is it that is actually stopping me from saying a no? I want to say a no, but I'm not able to. I'm forcing myself to do something that I don't want to, right? So first ask yourself and clarify in your mind as to what is it that is actually stopping you, or stopping you from being someone who you are not, right? So this is a very important thing, and this is actually the start point for all of this entire introspection to happen. That what is it that we are fearing? What is it that we think would happen, right? So once you're actually very clear in your mind that okay, I'm saying a yes or I'm saying a no because I fear that if I do this, he or she or people around me might just judge me, right? Or for that matter, I might just miss out this situation, or I might just, certain things in my life which I love the most might just take a back seat. It might be overburdening for me, or it might be kind of very tough tough task for me to go ahead, and I doubt myself, I doubt I'll be able to do it, right? So first of all, to get a clarity as to what is it that is stopping you is very, very important. Be it you saying a yes or you saying a no to any particular thing, right? So first be very clear, okay, this is a situation, this is what I fear would happen. And once you are clear about, okay, this is something that I fear, then you can actually accordingly, in a very, very cool mind, in a very nuanced way, probably work things out. Maybe find a via media which can actually help you to negotiate it, right? So that is the importance of self-introspection, and this is where it actually helps you, right? So do not forget to actually sit and probe and talk to yourself and ask as to what is it that is stopping you, either from saying a yes or saying a no. And then accordingly, once you're very clear of the reason which probably you feel, right, then you can, once you're clear, then you can actually work out a via media, work out a probably if not plan A, maybe plan B or something, and then you can go ahead, rather than in a haste, in that hustle bustle, just saying a yes or just saying a no for that matter, right? So don't do that. Sit peacefully, think, delve deep inside, probe, and then get to an answer and then work out at it, right? Okay. Now here, saying a no is better than saying an instant yes and not being able to fulfill the promise later on. Yes, that is very, very true. And this is something that is going to happen as a byproduct of you not working out as to what is it that is actually stopping you, right? So if you are not able to follow the first check mark point, you will invariably land in this second mess, right? So it's going to be an entire loop which is going to get created, and you're going to push yourself to do something that you don't want to. And then when you are being or doing something that you are not or you don't want to, respectively, definitely life becomes a hell. Yes, that is true, and we do not want that to happen, right? We definitely do not want to barter our happiness and peace for anything. That's right, isn't it? So here, so what you have to do is, instead of saying probably a very, very impulsive and an instant yes, just to maintain a particular image which you feel, or just to cover up any fear which is there in your mind, and you say an instant yes, and in the long run you're not able to fulfill your commitment, believe you me, it is going to land you in a far tight spot or in a deeper soup than you think that you would be if you would have said a no in the start. Believe me, if you want to probably carry a long-standing, if you want to forge a long-standing bond of trust, it is very important to not to take an impulsive decision, but to sit and judge and decide as to how you're going to go about it, right? So rather than being a villain for lifetime, or a person whom no one is going to trust for his or her lifetime, it is better that you probably think about it, sit and think about it, and then put your points forward in an assertive manner. Okay, now, well, yes, this is the entire process, right, which we covered in the first 2 points. Now, how do we do it? How do we actually get it into practice? So this is how you're going to start off with. So clearly, getting a clarity about your own priorities is imperative. Yes, that is right. So for you, it is very important that you set your own priority list as to what is important for you. Let us say if you are working and you have certain daily targets to complete, so completing your own targets would definitely be your first priority, rather than doing some ad hoc work which just comes your way, right? So for you, definitely you need to set your priorities right to actually proceed ahead on this path of clarity, or on this path of saying a true yes or no to anything, right? So set your priorities, go step by step, and then once your priorities are set, it will become very easy for you to judge and decide as to whether you want to say a yes or a no to any particular situation which you actually want to, right? Okay. Now here, once your priorities are set, now what do? This is something that we've been working in our own mind, right? This is going on here. Now how do we manifest in real life? So you have to be honest but polite. Yes, that's true, right? Most of the times we think that if you're honest, we have to be rude, or we end up being rude, right? So if you actually, try and probe or try and delve deep inside, you will realize that why do we actually become harsh or rude? That is because somewhere deep inside we ourselves are not clear about our own choices, our own decision of saying a yes or no accordingly. Which is why, we end up being rude. Okay, no, I'm not going to do this. Do you think I'm not capable of doing this? I'm not going to do this. Right? So all of these things, this will only come when there is some kind of a distressed, some kind of an unrest which is going on in your mind, which is creating a lot of rush, creating a lot of pressure, and it is then that you're going to be rude. So once you're very clear, very, very clear about your own priorities, and you know that things cannot revolve around it, you cannot just go on doing things haywire. You cannot do that because you have set clear priorities. It is then that you can be very honest, very politely put it forward. Maybe, yes sir, whereas I understand that you are probably giving me this work to do, but I have a lot of work. I already have a lot to do of my own, so I doubt I'll be able to complete it. I don't want to give any false commitments. I hope you understand, right? So you're being polite. You're putting forward your point of view in a very, very polite manner, and there is nothing wrong about it. I don't think being honest actually is something that anyone would dislike. Yes, being rude, yes, that won't be a very, very feasible option. Okay, being assertive, unapologetic, and not feeling guilty is the key. Yes, that is true. So this was the first step. Till here, everything was going on inside your brain, right? So first of all, we had step 1, which was going on in our brain. We were talking to ourselves, settling things in our own mind. Then step 2 was also kind of like that, yes, thinking. Now step 3 was also, you were now going a drill down, and you were thinking what are priorities and everything. Then came the real world scenario wherein you manifested, or you said that okay, this is what you've been thinking, right? Now is your next step wherein you are being assertive, but you are being unapologetic. You do not have to apologize, right? There is nothing wrong in choosing a particular path, so you have to first be clear about it. Well, so let us say if my boss or if someone gave me a particular work, right? So if I had to say a no to it, am I going to say sorry? Not really. If you are saying sorry, you probably are not portraying a best impression of yourself, because somewhere you are, portraying that you are yourself not sure as to if you are, if you're actually, you yourself not sure whether you want to say a yes or a no to a particular thing, right? So saying sorry is unnecessarily is not the most recommended thing to do in such situations. And of course, you don't have to feel guilty, right? So you might want to say, well sir, if I say, I'm really sorry sir, I don't think I'll be able to do it, rather than saying this and you portraying as someone who's being kind of a very, very, you're trying to portray yourself kind of a, trying to play a victim card, it won't give a very, very good kind of an image. Rather than just saying it assertively, yes sir, well sir, I understand that you are trying to assign this task to me, but I already have a lot on my plate, and I don't think that I'll be able to fulfill my commitment if I just take it over. So maybe next time, or anything that you feel is appropriate according to the context. But you don't have to feel guilty. You have to be very clear, very, very assertive. You're not being rude, but you're being assertive, very clear about your point, and you put it forward. There is no harm in that, and this is actually the best way to handle it. Otherwise, you'll be lost in that mess. You'll just try to, you will be entangled in it, and you will not even know when things will blow out of proportion. Right? Okay. Avoid beating behind the bush. Of course, not a very recommended thing to do. It's kind of very irritating for anyone, when you're not being probably straight to the point, because no one has time, right? If I give you a work, I either want you to say a yes or a no, so that if whatever you answer according to that, I can plan my step B. If I'm beating, well, yes sir, I think, yeah, this is how it, and all of that, you're just creating a, kind of a mockery, or kind of a mess you're just creating, and you're not getting into any direct yes or no. Definitely it is going to irritate the person who is right in front of you, and that won't be the most recommended thing to do, so avoid doing that. Yes. Now, what if someone is like, kind of pleading you, kind of trying to really maybe really wishes you to say a yes, and you in all your mind and heart you want to say a no. Now how do we handle this? This is kind of a very delicate situation, because we do not want to hurt the emotions of the person who is right in front, right? And at the same time, we don't even want to push ourselves into doing something that we don't want to. Now how do we handle this situation, right? So it is a good idea, if you feel that the person in front of you is kind of very soft, and you feel is way too submissive, and if you feel that this person might just shatter completely if I say a direct no, you can definitely praise them in the start and say, oh yeah, wow, I completely understand, you are a very nice person, very sweet person, you respect everyone, and I love the way you work, but my dear friend, I really don't think that I am the best choice, or I don't think that I'm I would be the best choice for you, or I would be the best choice for this situation, right? So this is how you can put it forward. But first of all, you might want to just gloss it a bit, make things slightly soft, and make the path slightly soft and easy, so that digesting that no would not be as hard for the person right in front of you, right? So it's good to be assertive, but be careful, try not to hurt, wherein you feel that there are too delicate emotions involved. Yes, you might want to use this way, also a good way to do, right? Okay, so this was an entire kind of check mark process which you can follow. This entire points you can actually start 1 2 3 4 5, and you can actually reach to a conclusion. Now let's go ahead and see as to, yes, you said a no, but what if you said a yes? Let's go ahead and see that. Okay, yes, that is true that though saying a no saves a lot of hassles, yes it does, I completely believe in this thing, and I know, yes it does, but closes a lot of opportunities as well. Yes, that is right. So this is the flip side of it, right? So though everything I'm not saying that you go and say yes, but this is some food for you to think to yourself. Let us say if I was given a challenging task and I had never done it before, and of course I said no to it because I felt I could not commit 100% to it, which is of course a very good thing to do. But now when I sit back and think about it, at the end of the day, if I would have taken it, probably I would have learned a lot, right? So yes, definitely I agree that saying a no saves a lot of hassles, but yes, it closes a lot of opportunities as well. So think before you say a no to anything and everything, right? Okay. Create a small world of your own where you are willing to say yes to everything to grow. Yes, that is right. But this should only be in your mind. I'm not saying you got to do it in real life, right? Otherwise, life is going to be a mess. So yes, because to grow, we need to take challenges. This is precisely what I mean when I put forward this point, that definitely we need to have challenges. If there were no challenges, we would never have grown, right? So it is a good idea, well, to say no at an appropriate situation, but at the same time, pushing the envelope a bit definitely helps, right? So if you push the bars, if you push your own limits, definitely you can grow. So it is sometimes a good idea to take up challenges. Of course, having said that, saying no is also important at appropriate situations. So the bottom line is that say a no or a yes only to appropriate situations, not anywhere and everywhere, to avoid, don't say a no, don't throw a no everywhere. just to avoid getting out of your comfort zone, because then you cannot grow. That's right. So going forward, last but not the least, let's have a look at this. Yes. So this is for all those people, who expect to hear a yes. So this is for all of those people watching this video. Forge a bond of trust if you want a yes. That is very right. So until unless there's this bond of trust, don't expect that you will get a yes. So though it is a good idea to try and push, your subordinates to actually get out of their comfort zone and work, but at the same time, that kind of a bond of trust has to be there between you and your subordinates if you expect a yes. That is right? So you have to be a role model for them. You have to be a trustworthy figure. Otherwise, you will just hear nothing but a no. Or even if it is a yes, it's going to be a fake yes. It won't yield much results, right? So friends, this was all about saying yes or no appropriately. We will see you again in the next video. Till that time, keep learning with Tutorials Point and Tutorix. Have a good day.